Madeline Dale here, and I have an awesome author for you guys to check out today. Cami Jensen is here, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her books, her work, and herself. So, Cami, go ahead and tell us about yourself.
My name is Cami Murdock Jensen. You can find me on Amazon. I've got a website too. My books it's a series. It's called the Archmage series. It's about the only wizard born on our planet since magic was banned thousands of years ago.
Man, and I saw too, she's an underdog. Is that right?
An underdog always. She is.
Yes.
When she was a baby, she survived an explosion, which left her with neuropathy pain in her legs and some burn scars on her face. So she's got some serious self-image issues, anxiety, a little bit of, she just doesn't like getting to know people. She's really, really hesitant to trust people. And those are all things that she overcomes in her journey. And she just happens to save a couple of planets on the way. So.
And I was reading the synopsis. It sounds like it goes on quite an adventure, and she's taken into a portal pretty much and lands with a questionable wizard. Hold on, where'd it go? A questionable person who teaches her about her power, right?
Right. So what happens is, because she's the only wizard on our planet, how it works is there's a certain allotment of magic on each planet, which is divided among the wizards that are born there. And since she's the only one, she has all of the magic of the whole planet, which has been dormant for like thousands of years. So she's super powerful, but has no idea how to use magic, what magic even is. I mean, if you ask her to pick up a cell phone, she can do 1,000 things, but has no idea how to do even the little basic magic spells. But what that does is put a huge target on her back for a big bad guy from another planet who is slurping up everyone's magic. And so she becomes this unwitting target, and she's saved by, said questionable character. So she doesn't get eaten up immediately, but she's just thrown into this whirlwind of crazy, crazy antics and high stakes, and people are dying right and left. And all she wants is to go back home again.
That's crazy intense. So with all of this going on and creating her character, what kind of mindset did you put yourself in when writing her?
Well, actually, Maddie, it was kind of easy and personal to me. Agnes, my main character, is based on my daughter.
Aww.
My daughter, when she was about 13 years old, started having all of these weird symptoms. She would get migraines that lasted for weeks at a time. She would be walking down the hallway and her legs would just lose strength, and she would just crumple to the ground, and she would just go pasty pale, and her heart would start racing. And it was terrible and scary. And we took her to doctor after doctor after doctor, and no one could figure out what was going on with her exactly. And she kind of lost hope and lost the motivation to even get out of bed in the morning. And I know that she's a huge book lover. So I wanted to create a story for her that would motivate her, something that would encourage her to not give up and keep trying. And so I would come to her in the daytime and I would say, okay, honey, you don't feel like going to school today. That's fine. But let's go outside. Let's go for a little walk. You can get some sun and some fresh air, and let's talk about this book. I've got some ideas that I want to run past you. And she just got so excited and so involved. And those walks and those planning creative sessions, imagination has a real positive influence on depression. And so we went out every day, and she started to just get a little bit more motivated to get out of bed. And she'd say, well, maybe I can go to school today. I don't feel perfect, but I think I can do it. And so when it came to Agnes and her trials, it was so easy for me because I watched it all happen in my daughter.
I love that. And you have a great message behind that for readers. I absolutely love that. Like, my heart is clenching as a mom myself to know that you had to go through that, and that it's not easy. So
Mhm.
that's very heart-wrenching. And I hate that you guys had to go through it, even if you did come out like knowing a lot more and how to like help others from it, if that makes sense.
Well, and it's a daily struggle for her, but it does have a happy ending. That it's been quite a few years. She's a newlywed now, and she's expecting her first baby,
Oh,
and she's naming her after Agnes, my character. So
that is
that
so precious.
my granddaughter will be Molly Agnes.
That is so precious. Do you think she'll someday read the books and think, "Holy cow, that was based on like my mom," kind of stuff?
Oh, absolutely. Sure my daughter will read them to her before she makes it to elementary school.
I love that because I haven't got to a point where I can read like I've created anything for my son yet, but I find that as a mom and as a writer, like that's one of the best things you can do for your child is like make something for them to go back and like have this they can read anytime in their lives.
Yeah, and it's permanent. This story is going to be out there forever, and it's just such a satisfying way to connect to family, and it's been fantastic. I love it.
What did you find in writing the books and the series? What was your biggest struggle?
Um, so I've got two struggles for me. The first one is the first chapter because I am a bit of a pantser. I have to use that first chapter to establish characters, world, voice, get my prose all lined up, and I frequently have to go back and write that first chapter 3, 4, 5 times to make sure I start in the right place in the story. It's not wasted time because I really am developing the story, but it's also wasted time.
I am the same way though. Like I try not to go back until I get everything down, but it changes so much because I'm like you, I'm kind of a pantser. I do a little bit of plotting, but it's like does not stick and it just you have to rewrite it till it fits.
Yeah, I know where I'm starting and I know where I'm ending. And then everything in the middle is kind of I know what needs to happen, but fitting it together is a puzzle.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge, but it's a challenge that I really enjoy and I'm getting faster at it the more I write. And then my second struggle is usually the climax because I like a fast read. So my books are very, very quick, lots of action, lots of things happening very fast. And so when it comes to the big climax of the story, I'm usually pretty brain dead by then. I really have to dig deep to pull out that fun, exciting action adventure, so much happening all at the same time. So those are my two struggle points.
That's great. I feel that. And honestly, I feel like readers are leaning more towards that type of book where it's chock full of action and it's a faster story instead of the overly long too much detail kind of stuff. I find traditional publishers, they put out a lot of stuff that has like almost like excess detail. I was talking with another author friend the other day about how I've got where I just skip over the paragraphs that give too much detail because I'm like, I want story. And that sounds like a great book to read as your book because it's going to keep readers' attention.
Oh, we have that in common. I skip to the action too, and sometimes if there's action in the detail, I'm like, dang it, now I have to go back and find that action. It's
Yes, you're like, wait, I missed something. What? I'm the same way, and it's crazy. Do you find have you compared, right publishing as an indie to traditional publishing any at all in your writing adventure?
I queried a series that I did before,
Mhm.
the Orphanage series, and it was really discouraging and really disheartening. And I I pretty much gave up at that point. And I was like, okay, I'm just not going to publish. That's okay. My kids will like my stories and I'm fine with that. And then I wrote First to Earth for the Archmage series with my daughter,
Mhm.
and she loved it, and she gave it to a few friends, and they loved it, and my other kids loved it, and Then my husband for Christmas said, all right, I'm buying you an editor and a cover artist, and that's your Christmas present. And we're going to indie publish this. And I've loved indie publishing so much that I don't think I'll ever look back. It's been a joy because I don't have anyone except my husband looking over my back and telling me what to do and telling me what I need to change. Well, your editor tells you that you could use this or that. And he's relentlessly right. And yep, that's where I like to be. I like to be in
That's
charge.
that's good. I'm with you on that because it's hard to do. I've I've looked at the traditional options and I've queried a few times myself, and it's just the process is disheartening, and it I had a lot of anxiety with it, but doing
Mm.
it the indie route, it's fun, it's creative. I mean, yeah, there's still work behind it with the marketing and whatnot, but it's totally
See,
worth it.
I am super lucky because when it comes to marketing, my husband has a master's in business and he
Yes.
doesn't get to use it with his daytime job. And so he is so excited about taking this journey with me, and it's something that we share. And so, yeah, he's done all of it.
That is
So
great. You've got like the perfect team set up for that. I love that. A little bit jealous because marketing is like the bane of my existence, honestly.
it's hard.
It is.
You've got that creative writer's brain, and when it comes to business, it's not easy.
Mhm. It is. And I've still been working on learning tips and techniques, and it's so time consuming, especially creating ads. Oh gosh.
Ads are hard. I am totally fine paying an ad company a few bucks to write my blurb and check over my cover, and it's worth every penny, I think, because the product that I put out, my very first cover, it was good, but
Mhm.
one glance told you, oh, this is an indie author. This was, a do it
Yeah.
yourself project. And when I go back and look at my latest covers compared to my first ones, I'm like, oh yeah, that looks so much better. I
Yeah.
can see that it looks better, but I can't create it myself.
I'm the same way. I try, but it's when it comes to the covers, like I can do some graphics and stuff, but doing the covers is a whole different ballgame.
It's
Mhm.
all different skill set.
So, with staying active creatively, sorry, my ear is itching. What do you do for self care for yourself?
I am really weak in that area. Self care, let's see. So a lot of my daughter's problems, we once we did finally figure out what she had, we discovered that it stemmed from a genetic defect that I have and my husband has. We just happened to find each other and with the same genetic problem. He has very few symptoms. I don't know why, big strong man, something like that. But I have to take extra care of myself. I have to sleep. I cannot pull all-nighters. I cannot stay up working on this awesome flow that I have going. I have to put it down and sleep. So sleep is self-care for me. Um, I can't sit too long. I have to get up and move every couple of hours. So I'll run up and down the stairs a couple of times or do a few squats. If I don't, then it gets painful. So being a writer is a little bit of a physical challenge for me as well as a creative emotional challenge. So if I'm just really careful and stay on top of the little things, then I'm okay.
That's good because I honestly I tell a lot of people I don't sleep very much, and really I sleep I don't sleep great because I don't know I've got chronic migraines, and for some reason when I sleep it is worse. I don't know. My doctors never could explain it, but like so I'm like you. I have to sleep. I've gotten where I have to take naps and stuff, and it's weird, but that is a great self-care tip because sleep is important. Your brain and everything functions better when you sleep.
Yeah, you just have to learn to listen to your body's cues and follow them.
Yeah, it's amazing that. the tips you can learn. I like to bring in self-care whenever I talk with authors because that I feel like that's something the world lacks a little bit because we weren't all taught how to take care of ourselves. It was always push, 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 go, 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 accomplish this, do this, do this. And I'm like, I can't do this. Like
I
something's got to give.
I really relate to that. When I was growing up, I felt that push, 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 and I think my mom was a little bit more empathetic than my dad was, but the guilt is real. So
It
I
is.
try to be a little bit more careful with my kids, but it's a balance. At the same time, it's so easy to just give up and not ever do anything. So, yeah, just listen to yourself. And if you can do something, do it. And if you feel like pushing through is going to make it worse, take care of yourself.
Yeah. It's a hard balance for sure. So go ahead and tell our viewers where they can find your books.
So if you just Google Cami Murdock Jensen, and that's Cami, not any of the thousands of other ways you can spell it. And you can find me on Amazon. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. My husband just loves social media, so you can find me on just about everything. And my books, do most of my sales in ebooks. So just look for the Archimage series by Cami Murdock Jensen on Amazon.
Awesome. And well, thank you so much, Cami, for hanging out with me on the show today.
It was fun. You're fun to talk to.
Thanks.
We have a lot in common.
Yes, and that's hard to find with some authors. I love the author community though, because really there are a lot of us that go through the same problems we have. So
It's true, definitely.